Hello, today I do not have a sermon for you. I just have a little one of my talks I want to give to you, and I'll try to do this every once in a while. I want to give a shout out to all of the men who have been a good influence to my sons over the years. Men like A.R. American, Plowboy's Ghost, some of the guys that we aren't as familiar with. My sons really know A.R. American, Plowboy's Ghost, and make a lot of comments back and forth, but Hickok 45, Paul Harrell, and my son really is sad about that situation there. And of course, my sons run the 11bangbang channel. I want to give a shout out to these men because I believe you're doing God's work. And let me explain why. I believe that your channels are something that you're doing for the good of this country, for America, and for your community. And I want to tell you why. My wife and I studied mass shootings for a lot of years. We've done a lot of research on it. My wife took college courses in criminal justice and did a lot of research there along those lines. And her and I, a number of years ago, took and we got a lot of information about all the mass shootings in America going clear back to the 1800s. And a lot of the mass shootings in the 1800s, early 1900s, they were called mass shootings, but they were mainly just accidents. There was a situation where they were doing a school play and somebody was going to use blanks and they accidentally got some live rounds in there, and a couple kids, one kid I think died, one was wounded in a school play. Now that was just an accident. I don't know why they listed that. There were a few stray bullets in little one-room schools. Maybe I can't remember if somebody was hunting and a bullet went through a wall, but these were all accidents. But that was all you had. Back in the 1800s and the 1900s, the early first half of the 1900s. And then, don't quote me on this, I don't have all my books before me, but I'm just going off my memory. I believe it's the 1960s, early 60s, when the first mass shootings began. And then the school shootings began, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I know here in Kansas, my wife remembers one of the schools that was one of the first schools in the country where it was a major, well-planned-out mass shooting. And she knew some of the people around near Wichita, Kansas. And we're just saying, what happened in this country? It isn't the amount of guns, and it isn't the speed and power of the guns either. Anyone could get a BAR gun, clear back in the 1920s and 30s, one thing and the other, but you didn't have people just irrationally going around shooting people. So we did a study on that, and almost 95% or almost 100% of all the mass shooters, especially school shooters, were boys, listen to me, who were raised without a dad. That's the number one. That's the number one issue. Boys that were raised without a dad. Boys that were raised without someone who actually took them out shooting. And we see a lot of the John Wayne movies and how he takes the boys out. We see movies like Shane and all of this. And that was a real depiction of what all men used to do. They took their boys out and let them shoot cans and taught them what a gun could do. I did that with my boys. And all men used to do that. And then came the cultural Marxist and the breakup of the family and the home. And there were no more men to sit around and say to a boy, this is how a shotgun works. This is how this is a 9mm pistol. This is that. And here's the different calibers, you see like a lot of these guys do. All men and grandfathers used to do that to their kids and grandkids. That's gone today, except for on these YouTube channels. This is why I'm saying you guys are doing God's work here. You are filling a void to where a lot of young men don't have that masculine teaching. And I hear you guys always talking gun safety. And I did that as well. And you're always talking. You have good family-friendly channels where you speak in such a way that is respectful, and you can get whole families to come and watch, and you speak as if you were a father. And I see Plowboy's Ghost had a good video the other day, and this is what got me thinking. I was watching his videos, and he had his son out there, and he was shooting his gun, and I thought, no, wait a minute here. This is the father figure that's missing today. And these channels are playing a good role today. I remember, and I'll do a shout out to several of these guys here that have been a good influence on my sons. I think, first of all, of, of course, Hickok 45, and I don't know him personally, and I don't conversate with him like some of the other guys, but I appreciate it that here was a school teacher that came on and just a humble, good disposition, kind of a calm and old-fashioned, just kind of a man, the way men used to be. He's not a show-off. He wasn't just trying to bully people. He wasn't haughty and proud. He's just a school teacher that began to speak to people on their level and had fun and talked a lot about safety and talked a lot about all the issues related to guns. And he spoke in such a way that, my family could sit around and listen to it. All my family, my kids, and all my grandkids. And I remember my grandkids used to watch Hickok 45 when they were just little guys. I thought it was hilarious the time he had his Christmas special, and he went out and he took care of Santa Claus. Oh boy, I don't know if any of you remember that one. I remember a few of my grandsons were just terrified. He shot Santa Claus. I said, no, it's just a show, guys. They finally calmed down, but I'm sorry. I had a blast with that one. Plowboy's Ghost. There's another one. First time I was introduced to Plowboy's Ghost, my boys said, I want you to watch this video. And it was the Antifa season. That was classic gold. That was comedy. And I remember, and I said, I like that guy. He's a Southern guy, and he's got the beard like a Civil War general, and all these guys are just good role models. And they made that video about Antifa season, and I watched that, and I must have watched that 50 times. It's just very well made, very well thought out. The comedic timing is perfect. And that was a good influence for my boys. And to see him watch his videos, make his videos with his son, and showing them how to handle a gun and how to, you can tell he spent time with his boy, and so I think of Plowboy's Ghost, and I think of Hickok 45, and these are gentlemen that are real men, and a lot of people look at them and say, man, these guys are cool. A lot of the kids look at them and say, that's cool, and they set a good example, and I appreciate that. And so what these guys are doing is they're filling a void in this country that's missing now. They literally are being like the father figure, teaching the boys what all men used to teach their boys about guns, and young people can sit there and watch that now and pick up on what all boys used to get from their dads and granddads. And I think A.R. American, he gave me a shout out here a little while back, and man, I really appreciated that. And man, that guy is just, I like the way he dresses. I like that Western style, and here again, it's just somebody that young people can look at and say, that guy's pretty cool. Look at that. He can shoot a gun like a cowboy, and does that triple shot. I told him on the comments today, I said, man, you keep doing that. I said, the federal government's going to register your fingers as a device that makes semis into full. I said, you better watch out. But, just making these videos, a lot of these guys, the Western style videos and dressing up in all the Western outfits, and of course I'm Generation X, and I grew up with all the cowboy shows, so that stuff really appeals to me. And again, A.R. American making family friendly, decent videos, always talking about safety, just like a father's used to their sons. And so you gentlemen are filling a void in this country, and I don't understand why so many people are upset at these channels, these quote-unquote gun channels, because there's no doubt in my mind they're stopping a lot of this nonsense. I believe that they are showing a respect for weapons and teaching people gun safety and respect for weapons, and I believe a lot of young people are going to grow up now with a different idea. Maybe boys that didn't have a father get to hear that fatherly instruction. And I'm not trying to say you guys are all old and grandpa-ish or anything like that, but hey, you're somebody young people can look up to, and we enjoy watching your stuff, and I want to encourage you to keep doing it. And so A.R. American, I appreciate him. I've covered Hickok 45, Plowboy's Ghost, Again, always talking gun safety, always talking statistics. And my boys watched you guys when they were little, and they learned things. And they learned how to make videos by watching you guys, and they've learned a lot of things by watching you guys. And you've been a good example to some young people, to some young men. And now, look, they've made the 11bangbang channel, and they've patterned a lot of it after watching you guys. So we got Air American, Hickok 45, Plowboys Ghost, and Paul Harrell. Garrett just called me on the phone before I made this video. Him and I were talking. He was pretty brokenhearted about his health situation. But these are men that my boys look up to. And they've patterned themselves after you guys because, hey, I don't know, they call it, what do they call it, based nowadays. In my generation, everything was cool. You guys are cool, man. Keep it up. I mean, you guys are what a lot of young people are looking up to, and I want you to keep up your channels because I believe you're doing God's work. And I just want to do this short video and this shout out to all of you guys and say just keep up the good work, and we need more gun channels. Because like I said, you're doing a patriotic duty. I believe you're doing a good duty to Christendom. I believe you're doing a good duty. I believe you're doing something that the Lord has wanted. You know, Jesus in the Bible told all of his disciples to get 2 weapons apiece. You know, and maybe it wasn't for that time before he went to the cross, but he was laying out the foundation that the kingdom was going to be established with real men that knew how to protect themselves. And one thing and the other. And I'm not saying that we ought to win people to Christianity at the point of a gun. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for self-defense and for national defense and things of that nature. Appreciate all you guys, and appreciate all of my friends, or several I didn't mention, all of the friends that my boys have that they're talking to all the time on the younger guys. My son Ethan and his military buddies. And can't forget Duke Frazier. Dukey's always over here at the house, coming over visiting a lot of times. And I just appreciate all you guys, but I appreciate you older men. I appreciate you for setting an example to my young people and filling this gap and being the dads that a lot of boys don't have today. They can see it now on the internet and pick up what they're missing. Thank you, guys. Shout out to all of you. Appreciate y'all.
All right, now put your arms on your side. Your holster's too low. Never have your holster at arm's length. Here, let's fix this. You always have it here, where the grip is between the elbow and the wrist. So when your hand comes up, the gun will clear the holster without coming up too high. You see? All right, now you try it. Real fast. Straight. Oh, that's it. That's it.
Gosh, is that the way real gunfighters do?
No, Joey. Most of them have tricks of their own. One, for instance, likes to have a shoulder holster. Another one puts it in his, the belt of his pants. And there are some who like 2 guns. The one's all you need if you can use it. 10 or 15 paces. No good at all for putting the bullet where you want it.
Which is the best way?
What I'm telling you is as good a way as any. And better than most.
Let me see you shoot, Shane.
What do you want me to shoot at?
The little right whack over there, see? Gosh almighty, that is good!
Oh, you see, Joey? Now, look. Remember now, when your hand comes up, you still have room to clear your holster.
Shane?
All almost a start. I was just teaching Joey how to do a little shooting.
I don't want to do
You ought to see Shane shoot now.
I did, Joey.
He's teaching me to shoot.
Yes, I know, dear. Now, you run along, get ready for the party.
Oh, Mom.
Go on, Joey. Guns aren't going to be my boy's life.
Why do you always have to spoil everything? Bang, bang,
A gun is a tool, Miriam. No better or no worse than any other tool. An axe, a shovel, or anything. A gun is as good or as bad as the man using it.